Valentine's Day is a scam. It is a $163 billion industry. Card makers, chocolate makers, and really anyone who's willing to put a heart on something makes an enormous profit every year during this time. So what's a way that we can get around that? Well, we could just not buy anything. That's fine. Except it's not fine because you are forced not only by just social media, who's constantly throwing ads at you, but also by your friends, your family, your loved ones, specifically boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, whatever, to give a card at the very least. And some people really hate homemade cards, which not something I will ever understand, but some people require those wildly expensive Hallmark, special cards. Some people find that the best way to let someone off the hook is to let them buy their way out of it. I know someone who used to do that with her boyfriends. She would get mad at them for getting drunk or whatever, just doing dumb things. And her way to resolve the matter would be to, well, I want this painting, so you should buy it for me. Or I expect an extremely expensive dinner, as though that's the way anyone should ever resolve an argument. And it's so frustrating to watch. Like, for example, when you're a child, you're going to school, you may or may not be popular, it doesn't really matter if you are. At school, the least popular kids tend to get 0 Valentines, or 1 or 2 from their 1 or 2 friends, or from their teacher, or the teacher's aide, or their parent that sent it to school with them, or, ahead of time, or with a brother or sister. Right from a child, it makes you feel like crap, like you are not popular, like you don't have enough friends, like you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you don't have the best clothes, your parents have no money, so therefore that reflects poorly upon you, which automatically means that you're not worth anything, I guess. Is that fair? No, these are children. They should be worrying more about how much chocolate they get to eat that will be provided by the school. They should be worrying more about how everybody gets a Valentine from their teacher, or instead of exchanging Valentines, it could easily be a craft where the kids can just make a Valentine for their parent or their caregiver or their grandparent or their brother or sister or whatever. That's a lot more inclusive because everyone can do that with a specific set of instructions. Whereas with children, if you leave it up to them, or worse, their parents, who don't read, the document that's sent home, or who are not able to understand that some kids won't get any Valentines, and believe me, there are parents out there who think that that's true, then the best thing you can possibly do for them is to either send them to school with something baked for the entire class, or force them to either make a Valentine for every single person or none. This kind of day, especially when you do the secret admirer, that's it, secret admirer. And any kids who don't receive that Valentine from their quote unquote secret admirer will leave school feeling even worse. And then they'll go home and maybe their parents will have, a heart-shaped cake or some chocolates or some adorable little Valentines that they bought. But it just makes people feel bad when it comes to adult Valentines. The restaurant industry loves that day. It's typically the busiest day of the year other than Mother's Day, at least here in Canada. And it's a huge, huge cash grab. They will charge far more, especially for alcohol and specific special meals where they make like a heart-shaped chicken or whatever. Anything to draw the crowds in. It only takes 3 seconds extra of work, especially if you're talking about heart-shaped bread or cookies or whatever, if you use cookie cutters, because that makes it easier, obviously. It's still a great way to make a ton of money. And I'm not saying that no business should make money. I'm just saying that there are so many better ways that you could be spending time with your sweetie or your child or whatever than throwing money at something. For example, I went on to 1-800-flowers.com. I don't know, I think they deliver to Canada. I've never used them. I don't particularly want to spend upwards of $1,200 on flowers. I can think of 100 different things I'd rather spend $1,200 on. That would pay for winter tires for my car. That could be a vet bill for my cat. It could be a special meal that I cook for others. I could easily invest it and make some money off of it. On the S&P 500, I could buy, well, I'd never buy crypto, but I could, that's an option. I could buy a piece of art from a local artist. There's so many things. We just don't do enough of that. We don't think about better ways that we could be spending our money. We just think, well, that's how much the website costs. That's what I should spend. And that's not a good idea. That's not how you save for retirement. That's not how you pay off your mortgage early. That's not how you pay off your car early. That's not how you do any of those things. You really have to be careful. The average American is going to spend just shy of $200 this year for Valentine's Day. for 2024. I'm willing to bet a whole lot of you can think of a lot of different ways that $200 would help. It could be donated to a food bank. How many people would that feed? 5, 10, 20, depending on what they get their food for. There's so many different ways and so many better ways you could be spending that $200 than going, oh, hi, sweetie, I really appreciate you. Here's a stupid amount of money that I spent on this thing, which more often than not, those sweeties that you're spending on might not even like what you got them in the first place. They'll pretend in some cases very well how to say, oh, thank you so much, and be appreciative and do all of that. And meanwhile, they take the chocolates to work saying, like, oh, I don't want the chocolates to go on my hip. And meanwhile, they give them to their coworkers because they don't like dark chocolate, or they don't like milk chocolate, or they don't like the multi-candy boxes, or they don't like the waste that comes along with the packaging in these boxes. And then we move on to the gifts that people think are a great idea. Buying a dishwasher or something. I'm sure many relationships have ended over the stupidity that is the gift giving at this time of year. Christmas is no better, and neither are birthdays in many respects. But Valentine's Day just seems to drive people insane. They make the strangest decisions. I did a quick search for the 10 worst Valentine's Day stories, and one of them was that someone had included their sexually transmitted disease exam results in their Valentine's Day card. If you want to spend time with your special someone, do them a solid and clear your schedule. Spend the whole evening with them. Cook with them. Even if you order, a pizza, that's fine. Just do something you don't normally do to show this person that you love them, or that you appreciate them, or that whatever, that you think they're a great friend. There's so many things you could be doing. Yeah, in short, I just think it's a good idea to not spend money on Valentine's Day. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, way too much money, which is why I think Valentine's Day is a scam. It only exists to earn companies money. It's not about celebrating anyone, although they will definitely make it seem like it is. But they don't market that way. They don't want to say, hey, we love making money this time of year, and you know what, we're gonna give you a whole bunch of things that you can give other people to show them how much you love them so that we can make that money. The diamond industry is especially bad for that. What is the whole he went to Jared? I think I've seen those commercials before. Like Tiffany's box, all those things that are shown in movies and commercials as being these huge things that you should covet and treasure forever. And if it's a diamond, that's fine, but there are so many other ways to get diamonds other than fresh from the earth. You could buy one that was made in a lab. Doesn't mean they're less precious just because someone didn't die as a result of a diamond mine, or die of cancer because they spent so much time in the diamond mine and now they have all sorts of lung diseases related to not having proper respirators while doing the work. It's ridiculous. There's no way that we should be indulging in this industry anymore. That said, it's never going to go away. So really, the best thing anyone can do is just do what they possibly can to spend less this year. There are so many of us who are struggling, spending frivolously on a holiday that isn't even really a holiday. I mean, I don't know a single person who gets that day off as part of a statutory holiday. We have a lot of them here in Canada, but Valentine's Day, not one of them. Most of us go to work. Okay, everybody, I hope you like this, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for your likes and comments from my last video. That was a big surprise. I got a whole bunch of views that I was not expecting, that I've never had before. And it was just really nice to know that other people are interested in the same things that I'm interested in. Okay, bye.